say he about to go? He moving to Atlanta. I'm gonna be honest with you. I see a lot of Chicago niggas out here too. Shout out to Chicago, man. My mom Chicago. Do we really belong there though? Cause it's niggas from the weekend. A city of niggas though, bringing dumb shit. Cause you got Florida niggas moving there, Atlanta niggas, everybody. All these hoods. It's hard to meet somebody that come from Atlanta out here, bro. It's like LA or New York, man. You rarely meet niggas from born and raised here, man. It's like a extinct, like niggas going extinct for who really from here, man. For real. Damn, it's like that. Yeah, this shit crazy, bro. Think about it. You want to come out here too? You said you moving out here. Everybody moving out here. That's the business with my bitch or something, man. But I just because I know in Atlanta is so many people that's from some different places in one city, and that don't mix, man. It don't. The murder rate out here right now. They ain't really talking about that shit though, but the murder rate out here so goddamn high, bro. And look, they say it's the highest since the 80s. Niggas getting gunned down every day. And you know, trying to really... They done brought the demons in that motherfucker. They done let the demons in Atlanta. Because they thinking that, you know, the murder rate rose. They let the Midwest niggas up there. One lady down there, we're gonna lock up these gangs. We're gonna make sure the one lady that been going viral like this. Do y'all really think? I really want to talk to Atlanta people. Do y'all think she really doing this for the help of Atlanta, or to further her position on where she want to go? This is the try to sue Donald Trump, and you know politics coming, election not too far. Do y'all think it's politics going on in Atlanta? Or is that lady New Orleans? Yeah, I'm no cap. New Orleans. Nah, it's a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both. He ain't the first one, though. It's a couple of Ben saying that Ben trying to do that, but I can't hear you, bro. No. Who me? Not hear me now, bro. You talking about me? You good on the right? All right. I think you got to now all that shit out and just talk how you talk. Yeah. Yeah, you good now. Yeah, she ain't the only one. It's a couple of that's been trying to do that. That be saying that damn near every time. It's, you know, but nah, she ain't talking about nothing. Hey, this was going on. When that shit hit Buckhead, that's when folks said we gotta clean this shit up. Buckhead got the money. Once all this shit started getting downtown and shit, they had to clean it up. People starting to be like, man, the crime and shit, bro, they starting to link that shit with a lot of other shit. You know, a nigga trying to talk without saying too much, but... Right. You doing a good job linking to them. Yeah, I appreciate that. But they starting to link shit, and that's tapping into the money. Then you got the politics. Of course, it's always going to be about somebody trying to further their career. That's what it's about, the money at the end of the day. So it's a little bit of both. Even with us, like, you know, even with, they try to say YSL is this gang shit. I think YSL was just a group of niggas. That was family. That was gonna stand on what they gotta stand on, just like YSL, just like YSB, just like any other gang down there, like, bro, this is what I hate. I hate that we are the victim of where we come from and where we're born. They made us, man. See that boy Thug too, man. Free that boy Thug too, man. Yeah, I feel like they railroad because, like, I talked to some Free Thug, man. Free Gunner, man. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. Thug is just the victim of being the face of something, man. That man shouldn't, because it's way worse than people out here. Bro, we got serial killers walking around, school shooters, doing all this shit. To say that Thug runs the blood, damn, y'all gonna do the nigga like that, though? Like, I'm not saying he ain't got no break the leg, but y'all gonna do the man like that. But this is why I tell niggas, be careful, because if you got an organization or an LLC organization, but you got little cousins, little brothers, associates out here doing street shit, they gonna come to you. They always gonna learn the biggest name. If the name associated with the group, that's who's gonna get it. Nigga, Larry Hoover ain't do 95% of the shit they convicted him for. Right, yeah. They want to be. You got a bag on one. I keep a bag on one. To put a bag on Hey, yo. Calling us from King Yellow. Now we got Crip Mac. Crip. And he said he want to squabble with Blueface back. But he's saying, like, they've been tripping. Like, Wack 100 been doing a lot. So, he ain't going to do it on no professional move. Like, Crip Mac said he want to bring Blueface to the alley. Cost her all type of ish, man. You know what I'm saying? So, Blueface don't get it on. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess Crip Mac, I don't know if Crip Mac mad about Blueface laughing at his DP or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody was laughing at the DP or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The DP, I mean, y'all Kelly nigga good. Nigga whoop me like that.
Oh, my mama. Period.
What's up?
Yes, period. Yes. Everybody different.
DP, he ain't did violations in hell long, man. That's why you think Chicago like that. He was not accepting somebody putting their hands on him like that, man. You gotta be crazy. GOD niggas not even fighting fear at all. Go get the fear one. Ain't nobody doing all that. So put your hands on. Look how big I am. Nigga, I'll put my hands on the nigga, they gonna try to kill me. Crip Mac, you big as me. Blueface. See, unless you squabble, but you take advantage, See, we Chicago niggas dirty for me. Slam you off the head and all y'all. From the shoulders. Nigga, this ain't no nigga professional boxing, man. Nigga ain't no professional boxing, nigga. I'm gonna beat your ass. How I gotta beat your ass?
Just for real.
Grab you, put you in the neck, punch the fuck out you.
Poke you with a knife.
You in your face, nigga. I'm doing what I gotta do to get you above me, nigga, to win this fight, nigga. This is a street fight, so you can do this shit, nigga. Ain't no from the shoulders, none of that shit. But I wanna know who y'all think can win. You think Blueface? Blueface will move around. But I think Crip Mac did like me, so and then I ain't gotta really do too much. So all I gotta do is catch you and knock you out. You feel me? You're gonna go to sleep. Period. That's the advantage of big niggas. That's why they got weight classes. You know what I'm saying? Niggas are 150. Man, you get lucky. Some fluky shit and knock a nigga out, but 9 times out of 10, little nigga not whooping no big ass nigga like that, man. So, I don't know. I think I'll put my money on Crip Mac on this one, man. Look.
I've never felt so close to the possibility of disclosure. The Nephilim, the giant.
Yo, King AK-47, Voice of the Streets, man. Everybody make sure they hit that like button, subscribe to the channel.
You got a group, whenever you get a group line, that shit get too big, you don't even know who the hell they hanging with other niggas, they bring somebody else around, you don't know these niggas like that. I don't know what he had going on though.
Motherfuckers really don't know how big
this nigga piece of work right here. This a real nigga right here. Hey, but I know a street nigga that can't say too much, nigga.
Hey, we'll type it up. I hit on the ground. Like hits on the ground.
Motherfuckers really don't know how big Doug really was, man. Like,
hey, Thug was respected in the streets of Atlanta too.
Man, bro, come on, man.
Thug,
keep it 100 though. Keep it 100 with me. When he was wearing them dresses, did anybody care down there?
We knew.
Down there really know Doug,
yeah, like Thug, bro.
Bro, that nigga can wear a dress and if motherfuckers really Doug about that business, bro. Like, hey, yeah.
But see, both sides though, both. That's why that shit got so ugly. Cause I ain't gonna flex. Both sides got some real. You know what I'm saying? Some real. That shit got ugly, man.
Hell yeah. That's why I think we really know how bad it. Come on, man. Like, shit's, at a point, shit was really hot, man. But then it kind of cooled down. It never seemed like this shit came at the wrong time. Like, it really wasn't even.
But see, it's a lot of shit that y'all really didn't see. Like, I don't know if that shit, y'all probably don't even know a lot of shit that happened, around the city. A lot of shit was going on that it didn't go, national or whatever, but a lot of shit was going on that we were seeing, and it was like, oh, damn. That was a part of that. That was a part of that. Yeah. It was a whole lot of shit.
I didn't feel like the police and everything was on thug ass and built 20 niggas out for the last straw. They couldn't take it. Because I heard Doug really went down there, helmet up, and built 20-something random people, random, no top to him. Once he did that shit, they said hit out on that nigga when it came to like Atlanta Police Department. They did not like Doug bailing no people off at all.
But see,
They said this nigga got money, he bailing people off. And we want people in, oh no, we gotta stop this shit. I think that might have been a bad decision he made as well, but we ain't on here. Listen, I want to talk about we got y'all on here. Fuck all that. What can fix that line? Let's talk about some real deal shit. Y'all down there, y'all from that ghetto, y'all from that shit. What the fuck can fix the crime level, the crime on women, the crime man on man, the thief? The cars get stolen down there on here. All type of shit. What the fuck do y'all think y'all mind can fix? Y'all see?
Shit, to be honest with you, man, these kids need fathers, man. There's no way if a mom trying to raise kids by themselves, they trying to work out each other, these kids.
Man, you know what? I really, it's for anybody that was born. When you really look into the dumb shit, it really ain't anybody that was born in the 80s and bro, we just moved different. It's these young niggas that were born in the 2000s and the 2000s and bro, they wild, bro. And really,
but like bro said though, but if they had a fuck, but you want to know why they wild though, we gonna keep it 100. Who do they got though,
bro?
Rappers. They look up to these rappers, man.
Yeah, exactly. And
the rappers are the fathers.
Like we all know, we can run over one. Like you know what hurt my heart when I got old enough to know I was running over my mama when she couldn't whip me no more. But there was no father there. Like I remember one time, nigga, my mother hit me. I stood up and said, "Hit me again." You don't know that shit haunt my fucking life that I stood up to my fucking mother and told her that, but she didn't have nothing. There was no uncle, no brother, no cousin, no father, no nothing. So I always blame my mother. But then I start to realize, like, damn, a lot of the shit she told me, though, don't make some friends. Man, you don't know that, man. I'm about to go outside. You feel me? You don't know.
I got told the same
now
thing.
Now you looking back like, damn, she
was right.
She knew.
But I'm going to tell you this,
right.
too. I'm going to tell you this, too. The court system is a part of the problem. The court system make it hard. Say you a father, right? And your baby mama, putting you through the ringer, trying not to let you see the kid. The court system is a part of the problem. I'm fighting for my son now. I'm going through hell trying to be a father. Facts. So it's like I'm trying to be involved so my son don't end up. Now, I know where he finna grow up. I know everything he finna do. I'm trying to avoid him going through that and becoming a problem to these other people out here, right? They making it hard on me, man.
Hey, Cam, you can't say don't use the father excuse, Cam. You 18 years old. Sometimes you gotta sit the fuck back, Cam. I love you to death. You 18, nigga. Sit back and listen. That shit is real, bro. Don't you not know a lot of us ain't had no father at home? It's a lot of niggas I know who had a father that'll put them in their place when they act a fool. They like a lot of little boys like you know why we listen to rappers? Because they mean. You don't understand that? We'd rather listen to another man than our fucking queen at home, our mother. That father shit do matter. Now, it also depends on if you a bitch ass father.
Exactly.
Or you a real father.
Exactly.
But you're not about to come on here, Cam, and say that shit, bro. That shit is important, bro. It's important. All my father taught me was street shit, nigga. He never taught me how to love a bitch. He never taught me how to be a man. He taught me how to pick up pistols, sell drugs, sell dummies. He taught me how to put the water in the bread and put it in the microwave, all that. But he never taught me real shit that I need in life. He only taught me block shit, street shit. That's why I tell you, you might be about that life, but life ain't about that. Teach me how to love, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But my daddy got 20-something kids. How did he teach me how to love? So depending on what parent you got, bro, don't come in here, Cam, on that shit, bro. Yeah, and that that's like the Atlanta justice system too, like once they get you for something little, you hit that they got you now. But I'm gonna tell you this
who not
I don't understand how, bro.
Picture this. I know folks, bro, Atlanta will give you a bond, a signature bond on a month.
This nigga fuck.
You see what I'm saying?
He glitching.
For them not to get them boy a bond. I know folks who not got out. You know what I'm saying? They out on bond now.
Yeah.
So what you telling me is it's looking bad then. If they can't get a bond,
man, they got some agenda.
Something going on. There's no way, bro. Them old block niggas in the feds, they can't get a bond, but that's feds.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple rappers get bond for RICO that's worse than this.
Right.
Worse.
It's an agenda, man.
Don't get it twisted. It's still the South. You know what I mean? Don't get like, hey.
Nah, they get bond at Wright Street, man. You get bond at Wright Street, man.
Yeah, they still be getting away with crazy shit.
But see what's going on? They got backlog. You know, my little partner was sitting there he was sitting there for a little minute. The home's on the streets right now, waiting trial. And you know, they say that he got a body. You know, I don't know if that's true or not, but
right.
But he's out. And Gunna I ain't heard nothing with that man name.
Gunna, I ain't really got Gunna, damn. This nigga Gunna, if you talking about guilty for association, bro, you look at that RICO, this nigga ain't did nothing. Now he can't get a bond for.
Yeah.
And he can't get one. That's why I'm looking at it, y'all. I am not too old for them niggas. And I pray, you know, except the Yank guy, that's just me. Y'all don't gotta feel the way I feel. Free everybody but his ass.
Free everybody, man. Free all them boys, man.
Free all them niggas. Cause I wouldn't want to not jail, bro. Not jail. That is the worst.
Free both sides, though, too. Free both sides, you know.
Both sides. Because we got YFN niggas that's locked up that ain't nobody paying attention to. They being locked up longer than these niggas and ain't getting no bond.
ABG. Free ABG, too.
Them too. Dog, I just pray for y'all down there, man. I think it's a politics shit going on down there.
They trying to set a standard, man. It's something going on around the whole America, though. Because I heard in Florida they did the same thing. It's really something going on. They locking down on the game.
But we gonna keep it 100. They locking down on where we keep running to. Every time when the PPP loan shit was going on, it was only 4 places people wanted to go.
Atlanta,
Florida, Georgia, Nevada, California.
And I fought with Vegas too, man. Shout out to the Raiders, man. Shout out to
right. Only 4 places, y'all. And don't y'all understand? We are fucking up Georgia, bro. Georgia, I'm telling you, I don't see Georgia niggas.
We don't like this shit, man. I'm finna
be whole ass down there, man.
Black is that?
Real, man.
Black
Shout out to Mama Duck in the chat. We got Mama Duck, y'all. We got FBT Mama. Y'all already know I love her ass. That's love. Everybody shout out Mama Duck, man. I need everybody to drop rest in peace Ducks in the chat for her son. Rest in peace, Bricks, everything, man. That woman going through a lot. She getting played. She doing it by her goddamn self. She ain't really got people supporting. So everybody, please show Mama Duck some love, y'all. Everybody, man.
Shout out Mama Duck, man.
Hell yeah, man. People don't realize how much Duck Mama done lost, man. She done lost 2 boys, her daughter. Like, bro, that's a strong woman, bro, for real.
That shit. Like, I kill a nigga for that because you don't make fun of where we from at all.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't make fun of no mama who, you know, out of all the shit they say she got it done. You see what I'm saying? Duck love her, what he do when he got that first check? He ain't buy nobody else nothing but her. Bought her own shit, nigga. But everybody will go against what the nigga wanted to do. He wanted to look out for his mama.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We go through that shit all the time in the hood, bro. She ain't the only woman that lost sons. She ain't the only woman that lost people. But everybody want to just highlight her. I represent the streets to the Let's see what we got in here, man. Let me drop the link again, man. We'll talk, man. Let's see what's going on. Y'all come up here talk about whatever the fuck y'all want to. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, bro froze. Let me remove it so he ain't on here looking crazy. Who we got? We got Roy K, Cam Ross. Y'all niggas talk to me, man.
Yo, what's good, AK? What's good, bro?
What's the word? Talk to me.
Hey, I fuck with you, bro. I fuck with you, real.
I appreciate that. Real talk.
Real. I'm gonna just say this though. I'm 27, you know, so I'm in the middle of, you know, the kind of OGs and then the young niggas, but you know, I just feel like, you know, niggas need to be more like strong-minded instead of being weak and crashing out for, you know, females and bullshit, because it's not worth, you know, losing your life or spending 100 years in jail for that shit. Like, then you'll be looking like, damn, I done fucked up. Like, then it's too late. Like, you know.
Right. No, real talk.
I'm from Chicago, though, so you know,
okay, you already know. Like I be telling the real rap motherfuckers fuck me. I don't know about the fake motherfuckers. The real rap fuck me, nigga.
Hey, I'm from the 100s.
Hey, time for them 100, nigga. Time for them 100.
100
What's 100 what?
100 acre mortgage.
You know niggas from this block?
Yeah.
103rd?
I be on.
Little TV chat over there. I ain't gonna say too much though. I'll just be on you. But whatever y'all niggas over there, talk to me.
Man, check this. Man, this is what I want to say. Cause y'all was speaking on some real shit. Y'all was speaking on that, on the fathers being in the house. Lee Price, there's a lot of women though preaching that, you know, if he ain't got this, he ain't got that, that nigga gotta go type shit. And you know, that hurt a black man too. Like, a nigga can be doing all he can do and get into a small argument with a black woman. But next thing you know, she come out, get out, and doing all, ain't no nigga just finna be just staying there. But they get out every day, get out. You know, niggas got felonies, so the apartments and the houses and the females' names. So the first thing they gonna go to screaming when you go to Billy, get out. So right now they got a lot to do with it. It ain't got that. It ain't the whole problem, but it got a lot to do with why a lot of women.
Let me ask you something, man. Real talk.
The women got control.
If it ain't another bitch or a nigga doing 30, do they really say get out though?
I mean, it can be you accusing her, and she can be doing something, and you can accuse her, and she can still tell you to get out, cause she can say, "Nigga, I'm paying my own bills. I can pay my own bills. You ain't gotta be here. All right, you know I fucked this nigga. Now you can stay or leave."
But let me
you know what I'm saying?
That ain't no woman.
I know, but I'm just saying. But as of right now, but let me speak. As of right now, that's what it's a lot going on now. And when our mamas was growing up, AK, you know, I'm a little older. When our mamas was growing up, you know, they kind of used to fight and fuss, but they stay together. You know what I'm saying? Stay together. Right now, it's a lot of separation, man. A lot of women looking for better. All this, they looking for better. Instead of, like you saying, you see how you say you want to just be content? A lot of people ain't good with being content. They feel like they gonna move up, and come to find they've been up for 1,000 niggas before they even found that one. Now you really a rat, but you still looking for a king. But you a rat now. You done ran through the whole hood. You see what I'm saying?
Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you just one thing. I'm gonna let you talk because you got something to say.
Right on.
If she don't tell you her past, if she not from your hood, how you know if she a rat?
I mean, I ain't saying she a rat. I'm saying you got sons.
I fully understand.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna call a female. Some females, see, you can meet a rat and they done had enough. That's working and everything, and ain't gonna fuck a nigga for the next 10 years. So what she did 10 years ago, not nothing now. I'm just saying a rat is somebody that's continuing doing it, that you know, that you see it visually. You see it, she putting it right in your face. I mean, some niggas just like, look, he just got killed behind a nigga that knew he was probably fucking with a hoe. Like that bitch, he knew she was a hoe. And he just came home. He just came and did the ultimate, AK, over a female he knew she was a hoe.
Yeah, that was the ultimate.
He knows she was a hoe. He know this, man. What you gonna change? Now you finna be in jail. He dead. She still finna be getting fucked by a nigga. Your son still gonna get raised by somebody else.
He lose all the way around. I don't see how he win. He lose.
It's that classic. If I can't have you, nobody else can. So, you know.
But listen, somebody else can. Listen, somebody else can't have it. He's free. She's free, bro.
But we don't understand. We influence a lot of women. We got daughters.
Hold on. Okay. But in order for that to be true, what he just said, like, if I can't have you, nobody can. He would have had to kill her. He would have had to kill her for that to be true. Hold on, listen. Hold on, listen. No. That's what I'm saying. Listen, he can't be like, I'm finna kill this nigga. If I can't have you, nobody can. He just killed the dude. She's still free. She gonna be with somebody anyway. He going to jail. So that ain't true. He gotta kill her to make that true.
Look, that's why when I started to lie, I said it's always a backstory to them. It always might be you kicking it with your homies. They might be like, I don't like that nigga Trouble. You be like, oh, that nigga is fucking my bitch. Damn. Then you got another nigga, man, that nigga Trouble think he wrong. Man, what? It is my bitch. Sometimes it's different motivation. That's how I knew he wasn't angry at her. He was in trouble.
He was angry at the nigga. He was angry at the nigga. Who he is. It's because who he is. If it would have been a broke down nigga, busted up nigga, he would have put knuckles on that nigga, kicked him out butt naked or something. But it's because who Trouble was, I think. I believe who he was and how much the money he had and everything caused the death. I believe they probably got into an altercation. He probably felt like he probably wasn't going to win. If he let this nigga go and get his partners, it's going to be more than that. You know, he just probably went on ahead and he still dealing with a female, though.
He didn't want to kill him. A killer.
Shot him one time. Yeah.
You ain't right. Shooting nobody one time. But if you shoot him one time in the head, okay, you meant to kill him.
Okay. He shot him one time in the head.
Trouble was probably giving him the business. He
fired that scare shot, and he hit it. And he hit him. That's what I said. A scare shot. Yeah, nigga, get up off me, nigga. Get up off me, nigga. Get up off me. I think you probably give him nothing.
That's just
that ain't no killer.
Somebody and somebody end up dying.
But why don't you react off his emotions?
Down the door. How the nigga break
down the door? Yeah, he kicked down the door.
If a nigga break down my door right now, nigga, I got plenty of time to, you know what I'm saying, do what I need to do.
Trouble should have had a pistol.
That part.
Trouble should have had a pistol.
I don't know, y'all. We can't do that. Maybe he just got something and was asleep or you know, I don't know what was actually going on.
I don't know. Nigga kicked down the door. No. Right. Nigga kicked down the door, AK-4. Hey, AK, if you a nigga with hit like him, he's supposed to have that 40 next to the bed, fucking that bitch that first kick, grab that. I'm just saying, we wasn't there.
I'll grab
I believe he didn't have no pistol. He probably be offended.
Yeah, he didn't have no pistol.
He didn't have no pistol, AK. Some niggas like that, bro. They don't be having no pistol, bro. They say Mo 3 was going for his pistol, bro. I highly think he'd have his gun on him that day.
No, because they said Mo 3 had a stash spot. We ain't never get told that he had a stash. They never said he had a gun in his car.
Yeah.
So he was trying to create a story. I think
that was a pump fake.
Did not have no gun.
That was a pump fake. He was pump faking. He was pump faking. Them niggas didn't buy this shit. He was pump faking. He acting like he got a gun, like they was gonna run when they seen him go in this spot. You know how niggas used to pop the trunk back in the day. Everybody take out run. The nigga done pop the trunk thinking he got an A. Now you can pop the trunk. Nigga, look at you crazy, nigga. I wish you would come out that trunk with anything. Nigga be on the hill. See what I'm saying? He pump faked on that freeway and then nigga got out in that car and chased him down. If he would have got out of his car running, he would have got away. He didn't have nothing in there. He had time. He could have got to the stash. Man, he had time. That nigga, man, listen, that nigga had no pistol in that car. I don't believe he had no gun in the car. I'm not going to get a stash spot and go take me 3 hours.
They never said that.
Because it wasn't no gun to reclaim. He didn't have now. He didn't have now, bro. I don't think you right about that, but that's another story. Atlanta is going... Young Thug, bro. This what it is with Young Thug. Because I wanted to come in earlier. Young Thug was kind of forced to be how he is right now. See what people really don't know. That nigga that was in the middle, he know a lot, AK. Man, look, YFN was on Young Thug neck at first. It's a lot of shit you don't know about that went down. Like, it's some people that I talk to that I kind of like, man, listen, man, even with that Wavy Navy, bro, if you go look at some of Wavy Navy videos, you going to listen to Wavy Navy say, damn, I ain't know that nigga Lucci know how to shoot that good. Man, look, Lucci been shooting shit.
Allegedly.
No, man, it came out of Waving Navy mouth. He said, damn, Lucci.
For the fact that we all shit, we
got for the fact, allegedly it went like that, but it's a lot of backstory to Lucci and Young Thug. Shit what made Young Thug turn up. Young Thug had to turn up. There was a lot going on. He was taking L's at first, but he caught his grip. I mean, so it ain't just Young Thug, it's YFN too. So just like you were saying, YFN was doing some shit too, but they record labels. I just think they took it too far. I think the money got in their head, they took it too far, bro. For real, but niggas died though.
But we gonna keep it 100. There's a lot of drugs in the niggas that make thousands and damn near millions, and they still never had this hood, bro. It's just the hood. It's just you can move us anywhere. You can move me to a white neighborhood right now. That's what we're gonna do. You'll have my barbecue.
Hold on, AK, you right though, AK might be there, right?
We might be fighting each other. That's why I know. That's why
I think it's that rap shit. I think it's that rap shit, bro.
No, because
if a nigga got money,
bro. A lot of people was making fun of me. They might.
It's that rap shit, dog. The nigga.
Background. They might see a little rope short, a fly flying around, and they like, AK, why you still in the projects, nigga? If I move to the suburbs, do you not understand? We can move, but we are where we are. Dirk showed us that. He moved in a rich white community and had the only shootout they ever had. The only home invasion that community ever had. Because of him.
Darker D.
So I can move to a rich
Darky yo.
No, I can't. I can move to a good suburb right now.
Darky yo, D,
Get that
man.
nigga, don't be bullshit.
Shout out Big Dirt, man. He get the first thing.
Shout
out Big Dirt.
Man, good credit. Man, bullshit.
I don't make money how you think. Nigga, this
no, it ain't like how we think. It ain't how we think. It's good enough, motherfucker. It's good enough, motherfucker. It's good enough. Motherfucker, you ain't died here with us no more. You ain't died here with us no more, motherfucker.
I'm gonna tell you $100. The average I make off YouTube is $7,000 a month. That's not.
I believe it. I swear to God, you're not sugarcoating. You're not sugarcoating.
If I correct my mouth, I can make 20, 25.
Yep. You can.
I just can't do it. So when y'all send me money and y'all donate, that really.
Bro,
you see what I'm saying?
That's the point, real nigga shit. And you bringing that real facts. So shit, I'm gonna donate my shit too.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, nigga, CJ so cool and them niggas making that in a day. That's 6,000, 7,000 in a day.
Yeah.
Them niggas making that shit in a day. That's crazy. Why I say I know you telling the truth, cause I see how many subscribers you got and what type of video you post. I know how much you like your revenue is. I kind of know how much it is. I mean, if you wanna be a YouTuber like me, I wanna be a YouTuber. I was trying to find your Instagram, so I'm gonna have to get your link, man. To try to get your Instagram, because that's why I'm linking up on.
King _ AK_. It's my name just with 2 underscores. That's it. It's
all right,
King AK-47 with 2 underscores, bro. In front of the King.
That's a bit.
AK-47.
That's a bit. Anytime you do a backup on that Waving Navy story, man, I don't know when them boys gonna get out of jail, man, but I know a lot about that shit. That YFN shit deep, man. It ain't over. It ain't over yet. Them laws still finna pick some more people's up on both sides. On both sides, bro. That shit for real. I mean, you can only imagine. You know, you talking about they ain't got nothing on. When you were saying they ain't got nothing on Gunna, but you gotta understand they had that boy phone tap, bro. Them niggas with loose lips on them iPhones, bro. Gunna, they got his conversation too when he was talking to him. He know everything they was talking about.
Smooth at all. These niggas ain't smooth at all.
Them niggas threw hands. AK, them niggas was talking on the phone.
Nigga went outside.
You talking about they ain't got nothing on Gunna? They got phone taps on that nigga ass that we ain't heard yet. They got that.
No, I just think Gunna just was living a fake.
Nah, they got them phone taps, man. You got them niggas phone taps.
I don't think.
So you don't think they got Gunna on no phone conversation?
He went on too much.
You don't think they got Gunna on no phone conversation? And they had Young Thug phone tap for that long. He used to call Young Thug. You don't think they don't got him on no phone taps? Saying nothing wrong.
That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I think Gunna just shouldn't have lived that life. That wasn't his life.
Oh, yeah, he fucked up. Yeah. If you would have had more choices. If you would have had more choices.
No, I'm saying if he was doing more, he would have had more charges.
Yeah, but that ain't a documentary.
His charges showed he wasn't doing too much.
I mean, the charge they gave him is the highest charge. The charge he got, he can get the same amount of time they got. See, because that's what I'm saying. He can get that one charge he got can get him 30 years too, just like everybody else. That's why they just gave him that charge alone, because that charge he got a lot to do with wiretaps and who you associated with and evidence. That's the case.
They don't think none of them.
They trying to say second in command.
They know he's second in command. They ain't saying that they know it. They know it. They keeping them niggas in jail. They know it.
About that shit though. I don't know.
Man, shit.
When is niggas gonna start being solid and start telling on each other, like, you know?
Niggas always.
How much give you food and drinks, you just start telling like the canary, like,
And you right about Yagata. Whether Yagata wrote that statement, whether he wrote that statement when he got that probation or not, just writing a statement for the police. Period. Period is no.
Like I gave shit to nobody.
Nobody. You gonna give me probation? Give me probation, nigga. I'm guilty of my crime. That's it. But I'm not gonna write a statement saying who I gave this to. This nigga done got probation before. You just saying you guilty of the crime.
Come on, bro. This nigga. Hell no.
He wrote it down. He wrote it down word for word. He implicated other niggas in the paper in his statement. He wrote his friend's name in. I gave it to this person. I gave it. That's all day snitch. I don't care if you snitch on they got tickets for jaywalking. Nigga snitch. It's still snitching.
Jump back out. This nigga jump back out, start rapping his ass off. Like, yeah, like a shit happened.
And you seen that interview, AK?
Everybody trying to get at you for snitching, like, it ain't worth it, bro.
AK, you seen that interview where they did that $1 Million Later interview with Gilliam?
I've been speaking about you for a long time. A couple times a year I'll go, I'll explain the story from my perspective and defend you, because it deserves to be defended, and I believe the story as it's been told. But, you go out there and you hear all kinds of crazy theories about what you're doing and who you work for and everything, and there are those who have a lot of trouble with it. I can understand it.
When it comes to life on Earth and human history, scientists and historians have some of the answers, but not all of them. They're great at their job, and they can reach grand conclusions based on tiny clues and pieces of evidence, but sometimes they encounter something that leaves them totally...
Hey, you wanna fuck up, come on, see and get the running. Hey, I just got some top at the lakefront. I'm gonna be trying to kick off on them grave, no, I can't punt. Chopper bullets up at my dick, you can take one. I'm smoking like smoking fun. Well, let's face one. Lil' J, you know I got sauce, my shit A1. Hoodie on me when I slide, I'm like Trayvon. Dilla bitch, ask me for some cash. Ain't nothing. Me leave my house with no blick. Ain't nothing. You trying to talk? I don't be going to talk. Hey. So you get money, you can get home. Open up the vault. Hey. I love to fuck it off at sex, don't care about the cost. I know the real you. You say you remember, would you knock it off? All my niggas steady stepping like a marching band. I just fucked this little bitch, she got her OnlyFans. I'm not a goofy baby, I know I'm not your only man. I ate a pussy off the Yerkins, they regretted it. How you step? You step to the right, you step to the left. Whenever I step, I'm shooting like step. You niggas be pocket watching how shorties come through, smoking wheels like some milk. I got my friends in the rough. You niggas call 911 just like why I clap. Hey, I just got some top at the lakefront. I don't be trying to kick it off on the grave, no, I can't punt. Chopper bullets up at my blick, you can take one. I'm smoking one, you smoking fun. Well, let's face one. J, you know I got sauce, my shit A1. Hoodie on me when I slide, I'm like Trayvon. Dilla bitch, ask me for some cash. Ain't nothing. Me leave my house with no blick. Ain't nothing. Took goof ass on. Ain't nothing. I'm from your stupid ass trying to talk on Tuga. Now the fuck I'm coming out here, get the running, man. Don't know, man. Ain't nothing. I'm a freaky Scorpio, you know I'm nasty. I like shot bitches and I like them classy. The way she shaking ass, I hit her all, she let me. I told her, go put that fatty on my daddy. Ay, go put that fatty on my daddy. I told her, go put that fatty on my daddy. I like that bitches and I like them classy.
When is Jacob first mentioned in the Bible? Jacob is mentioned for the first time in the Bible in Genesis 25. When Rebekah, Jacob's mother, was pregnant with him and his fraternal twin Esau, she asked God why her two babies were fighting in her womb. God responded that the animosity between the two brothers foreshadowed the two nations that would emerge from them. Jacob would be the forefather of Israel and Esau of Edom, Genesis 36. Furthermore, Esau, the elder twin, would become Jacob, the younger twin's servant, Genesis 25, verse 23. Genesis 25. This is the account of the family line of Abraham's son Isaac. Abraham became the father of Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, daughter of Bethuel the Aramean from Padan Aram, and sister of Laban the Aramean. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. The babies jostled each other within her, and she said, "Why is this happening to me?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. The Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger." When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out, with his hand grasping Esau's heel, so he was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob. Once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew. I'm famished." That is why he was also called Edom. How is Jacob's character depicted in the Bible? Jacob was associated with trickery and deception from his birth until his wrestling match with God. Genesis 32, verses 24 to 29. Jacob's most infamous deceptions were committed against his twin brother Esau. In exchange for his birthright as the firstborn son, which was a double portion of his father Isaac's inheritance, Jacob offered his famished brother a bowl of soup. Genesis 25, verses 29 to 34. Once when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau came in from the open country, famished. He said to Jacob, "Quick, let me have some of that red stew."
The king, formerly known as continues to maintain his innocence despite insurmountable.
"I'm famished." That is why he was also called Edom. Jacob replied, "First, sell me your birthright." "Look, I am about to die," Esau said. "What good is the birthright to me?" But Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank, and then got up and left. So Esau despised his birthright. Furthermore, Jacob deprives Esau of their father's blessing, which Esau was entitled to receive. Genesis 27, verses 1 to 29. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." "Here I am," he answered. Isaac said, "I am now an old man and don't know the day of my death. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Prepare me the kind of tasty food I like and bring it to me to eat, so that I may give you my blessing before I die." Now, Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau left for the open country to hunt game and bring it back, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, "Look, I overheard your father say to your brother Esau, 'Bring me some game and prepare me some tasty food to eat, so that I may give you my blessing in the presence of the Lord before I die.' Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you to. Go out to the flock and bring me 2 choice young goats, so I can prepare some tasty food for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, so that he may give you his blessing before he dies." Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, "But my brother Esau is a hairy man, while I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me? I would appear to be tricking him and would bring down a curse on myself rather than a blessing." His mother said to him, "My son, let the curse fall on me. Just do what I say. Go and get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and she prepared some tasty food, just the way his father liked it. Then Rebekah took the best clothes of Esau, her older son, which she had in the house, and put them on her younger son Jacob. She also covered his hands and the smooth part of his neck with the goat skins. Then she handed to her son Jacob the tasty food and the bread she had made. He went to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son," he answered. "Who is it?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done as you told me. Please sit up and eat some of my game, so that you may give me your blessing." Isaac asked his son, "How did you find it so quickly, my son?" "The Lord your God gave me success," he replied. Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near so I can touch you, my son, to know whether you really are my son Esau or not." Jacob went close to his father Isaac, who touched him and said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, for his hands were hairy like those of his brother Esau. So he proceeded to bless him. "Are you really my son Esau?" he asked. "I am," he replied. Then he said, "My son, bring me some of your game to eat, so that I may give you my blessing." Jacob brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought some wine, and he drank. Then his father Isaac said to him, "Come here, my son, and kiss me." So he went to him and kissed him. When Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he blessed him and said, "Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you heaven's dew and earth's richness, an abundance of grain and new wine. May nations serve you and peoples bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may the sons of your mother bow down to you. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." This resulted in Esau wanting to slay his younger brother, so Jacob fled. On his way to his mother's homeland, he saw angels and a ladder to heaven. When Jacob arrives in Haran, he meets his match in the form of his uncle Laban. Genesis 29. Then Jacob went on his way and came to the land of the people of the east, near Haran. As he looked, he saw a well in the field and 3 flocks of sheep lying there, resting beside it, because the flocks were watered from that well. Now the stone on the mouth of the well that covered and protected it was large, and when all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone from the mouth of the well, water the sheep, and afterward replace the stone on the mouth of the well. Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." So he said to them, "Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor, Abraham's brother?" And they replied, "We know him." And he asked them, "Is it well with him?" And they said, "He is doing well. Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." Jacob said, "Look, the sun is still high overhead. It is a long time before the flocks need to be gathered in their folds for the night. Water the sheep and go, and return them to their pasture." But they said, "We cannot leave until all the flocks are gathered together, and the shepherds roll the stone from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherdess. When Jacob saw his cousin Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and Laban's sheep, he came up and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered the flock of Laban, his uncle. Then Jacob kissed Rachel in greeting, and he raised his voice and wept. Jacob told Rachel he was her father's relative, Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. When Laban heard of the arrival of Jacob, his sister's son, he ran to meet him and embraced and kissed him and brought him to his house. Then he told Laban all these things. When Laban said to him, "You are my bone and my flesh," and Jacob stayed with him a month. Then Laban said to Jacob, "Just because you are my relative, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me, what should your wages be?" Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful in form and appearance. Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "I will serve you as a hired workman for 7 years in return for the privilege of marrying Rachel, your younger daughter." Laban said, "It is better that I give her in marriage to you than give her to another man." Stay and work with me. So Jacob served Laban for 7 years for the right to marry Rachel, but they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. Finally, Jacob said to Laban, "Give me my wife, for my time of service is completed, so that I may take her to me as my wife." So Laban gathered together all the men of the place and prepared a wedding feast with wine. But in the evening, he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Jacob, and Jacob went in to consummate the marriage with her. Laban also gave Zilpah, his maid, to his daughter Leah as a maid. But in the morning, when Jacob awoke, it was Leah who was with him. And he said to Laban, "What is this that you have done to me? Did I not work for you for 7 years for Rachel? Why have you deceived and betrayed me like this?" But Laban only said, "It is not the tradition here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older. Finish the week of the wedding feast for Leah. Then we will give you Rachel also, and in return you shall work for me for 7 more years." So Jacob complied and fulfilled Leah's week of celebration. Then Laban
Webster University has proudly served the educational needs of our military for nearly 50 years. We understand the motivations and aspirations of service members.
gave him his daughter Rachel as his second wife. Laban also gave Bilhah, his maid, to his daughter Rachel as a maid. So Jacob consummated his marriage and lived with Rachel as his wife, and he loved Rachel more than Leah, and he served with Laban for another 7 years. Despite his feelings for Laban's younger daughter Rachel, Jacob is duped into marrying her older sister Leah. Jacob, on the other hand, perseveres and is eventually able to marry the object of his affections. Jacob worked for Laban for many years. Jacob was able to take much of Laban's hurt for himself thanks to God's protection and Jacob's intelligence. Finally, God tells Jacob to return to his father's land. The problem is that this means Jacob will have to confront Esau. Will his brother's rage remain unquenched after all these years? Knowing Jacob's story means knowing that his life was full of ups and downs. Despite God's promise to Jacob that through him would come not only a great nation, but a whole company of nations, he was a fearful and anxious man. Jacob was about to meet his brother Esau, who had vowed to kill him at a critical juncture in his life. All of Jacob's struggles and fears were about to come true. Jacob had fled Laban, enraged by his father-in-law's treatment, only to be met by his enraged brother Esau. Anxious for his life, Jacob devised a bribe and then sent a caravan of gifts across the river Jabbok with his women and children in the hopes of appeasing his brother. He was stripped of all his worldly possessions because he was physically exhausted, alone in the desert wilderness and facing certain death. In reality, he had no control over his fate. On the banks of the Jabbok River, he fell into a deep sleep. With his father-in-law behind him and Esau ahead of him, he was too exhausted to fight any longer. But it wasn't until then that his true struggle began. Fleeing his family history had been difficult enough. Wrestling with God himself was an entirely different matter. That night, Jacob was visited by an angelic stranger. Genesis 33, verse 22. That night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. Jacob had struggled his entire life. Even at the time of his birth, he was at odds with Esau. Later, he clashed with Laban. Yet, just before meeting Esau, Jacob went through the most difficult time of his life. He who had once grasped his brother's heel now clung to the living God's bodily form. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip. Therefore, to this day, the Israelites do not eat the tendon attached to the socket of the hip, because the socket of Jacob's hip was touched near the tendon. Note that Jacob is 79 years old at this point in the narrative. As a result, he is unlikely to pose a physical challenge to an angel. Though there is no reason to doubt that a physical contest takes place, we must not mistake that for the main point. When the text tells us that Jacob's opponent cannot overcome him, it is not suggesting that Jacob is physically besting the man. The ease with which he inflicts physical damage on Jacob indicates that any inability must be in the spiritual arena, not the physical one. If the wrestler is unable to spiritually defeat Jacob, it is because Jacob is unwilling to yield. Only when the man threatens to leave without offering assurances of God's assistance does Jacob demonstrate his willingness to negotiate on the critical issues. The turning point occurs when Jacob informs the stranger that he will not release him unless such assurances are provided. This, I believe, indicates Jacob's willingness to submit to God's demands on him. Jacob's perseverance is now working in his favor. He is willing to go to any length. The blessing manifests itself in the form of a name change. This is significant for Jacob because his name has become synonymous with his character throughout the story. A name change thus denotes a change in character. Changing someone's name was a way to exert authority over them. Jacob accepts the name change, which is equivalent to accepting a change in character in this case. The new name is intended to represent the transformation of one of Jacob's traditional strengths. His perseverance has brought him success in his interactions with people, and it is now responsible for his success in his struggle with God. Not because God has surrendered, but because Jacob has conceded. As is customary with God, one must first lose in order to win. It's possible that Jacob's request for the wrestler's name is a last-ditch effort to maintain control, but the wrestler refuses. Who exactly is this stranger? Throughout the episode, the narrator refers to him as a man, at the end of the episode as Elohim. The man injures Jacob's hip, but he refuses to let go until the man blesses him. Jacob realized he wasn't wrestling a man, but God, and he wouldn't let go until he blessed him. The location of the wrestling match is named Peniel, which means face of God in Hebrew. Here are takeaways from Jacob's wrestling match with God. First, we need forgiveness, and it only comes by the mercy of God. Jacob was responsible for what he did to Esau, and he knew it. Jacob had relied on his own wits for success up until this point, but now he didn't know what would happen. His survival was contingent on his brother forgiving him for his wrongdoings. Although Jacob had no control over his brother's heart, there was one who did. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. Genesis 32, verse 24.
Oh, Bridget Ferguson.
Hello.
You didn't punch in?
What time is it?
10:30.
I don't punch in until 11.
You been up sleeping a long time.
Told you I took the muscle relaxers with them. That's what they do.
I know, because I done took them. Well, I was just checking on you.
Okay, baby. I love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
It's time for me to work.